Hi, and welcome to Content Studio. How are you all doing today? Let's wait 5 minutes for everyone to come to the live chat and the live stream, and then we'll start the webinar. I hope you're all doing great. Yay, Courtney, finally, we're having a webinar on this topic. All right, so while we're waiting, let's introduce ourselves. So you guys have seen me before. I'm Manur, and I am a digital strategist, digital marketing specialist actually here at Content Studio. And I will be presenting the webinar content to you, as well as giving you the tour of our competitor analytics feature tool. And along with me, I have Sharon. He's going to introduce himself.
Hi everyone, my name is Sharon. I'm from the Content Studio team as well. I work as a sales and support specialist, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have today.
Yep, so you guys are going to be interacting with Sharon at the end of this webinar. For now, it's only me. So let's wait just a few more minutes and then I'll start the webinar. Let's take you all to the first page. Hi, everyone. Hi, James. Hi, Christian. Hi, Adil. We've got nice companies here as well. That's great. Nice to see you all here. Hi, Puri. Hi, Larry. Hi, Root. All right. I think we have quite a lot of people here, so let's not waste anyone's time and let's get right into it. So, starting off the webinar today with the topic, how to use Instagram to stay ahead of your competitors. That will be the topic of today's webinar. And as always, we're first going to go over what exactly it is that we will be discussing in the webinar. So first of all, I'm going to be talking a little bit about what competitive benchmarking is, if you all don't know yet. And then I'm going to be comparing that to competitive benchmark with competitive analysis, because there's a confusion sometimes. I'll get into that. Then I'm going to talk about how you can actually leverage Content Studio's Instagram competitor analytics tool to gain your competitive advantage. So we're going to talk about the features. And then I'm going to take you right into the tour and I'll show you everything in the Instagram competitor analytics tool. At the end, just before the question and answer session, we will also be giving you a sneak peek into some future updates that we are coming up with. And at the end, of course, the question and answer session will be taken by Sharon. So I hope you guys enjoy this webinar and let's start. So firstly, what is competitive benchmarking? Now, first of all, let me just make it really clear that competitive benchmarking and competitive analysis go hand in hand. So they're often confused, for being the same thing, but they're actually not. And how are they different? I'll tell you. So firstly, competitive benchmarking is the process of comparing your brand to one or more of your competitors based on critical metrics. So that kind of means like you're positioning your brand, right? And when you're positioning yourself, then you essentially need to figure out what your competitors' strengths and weaknesses are in order to put yourself somewhere in that list. And eventually, when you find your space there, you find out what works, it doesn't work, then you set your goals, your strategies, and action plans. Now, on the other hand, competitive analysis is a little bit different. It's the process of evaluating competitors to understand their strengths, weaknesses, and strategies. So you can kind of take competitive analysis as a more qualitative analysis. So instead of just looking at a number of metrics lying in front of you, it's going to tell you exactly what those metrics mean and what you should do about it. So competitive analysis actually helps you identify the opportunities for your business or your brand. It helps you reach out to untapped customer segments, because when you're looking at metrics, then you learn exactly what these numbers mean and how they can benefit you. And eventually it leads to you improving your brand's products and services. So remember, competitive benchmarking will only be good if you have a good competitive analysis. Got it? Let's move on to the next slide. So what exactly is the importance of competitive benchmarking and analysis? Firstly, data-driven decisions are gold. And what does that mean? It basically means exactly what I said in the previous slide. It means that when you have metrics that you are properly researched, that you have spent time in, then that is when you'll be able to take better decisions rather than leaving everything at risk. So understanding your competitors helps you understand market dynamics. And that basically means what exactly they're following, what kind of strategies they're dealing with, what their consumers are behaving like, what their pricing is. Everything that falls under this umbrella is what will fall under market dynamics. So that essentially means what will and what will not work for you, what works for them, and what does not work for them. Then it helps you identify gaps in the market. Of course, when you are following your competitor, you're analyzing exactly who they're dealing with, who they're talking to, what they're doing, and that kind of gives you an opportunity to look at the kind of people that they are not targeting or the people that you think could be a good target for you. Everything is different for every brand. Then we've got the fact that competitive benchmark analysis helps you identify your own unique selling proposition. Of course, that is what sets you apart from your competitors, and that's what every brand here is trying to do. Especially when we're talking about our competitors, you're all essentially giving the same features or the same product. So how do you stand out from the rest, and why would people want to buy from you? So when you're actually looking really deeply into metrics and making assumptions from them and creating plans out of them, that's when you will find what you are good at. Now we have this part right here. It says that it's important because it helps you stay on your toes. Now, this point may seem out of place here, but let me explain exactly what I mean. When you stay on your toes, it means that analysis is something that is always ongoing. You cannot analyze something once a year and then leave the rest of the year on that. Every strategy that a brand carries out, or every decision, every target audience that they're dealing with, anything that they're doing is changing, especially if it's related to social media, of course. So you want to be on your toes 24/7 because we all know how fast this industry keeps moving. Trends keep changing within seconds. You have absolutely no idea what you've left behind, what's coming up. You need to be on your toes. And that's exactly what this will help you with, because if you're following your competitors, seeing what's working for them, what they're doing, what's working in the market for them, then you will be there with them. So second lastly, we've got the fact that it helps you structure your marketing. And why I'm saying this is because when you have, of course, done your research properly, you know exactly what thing that you'll do will lead to what consequence, then you will invest the right way. You will put in the right kind of efforts, the right kind of time. And all of that eventually leads to you saving your time and your money because you're doing exactly what you should be researching before you put any of this into your business decisions. Because if you want to make a good decision, you will have to have a really strong analysis of your competitors and yourself. And that's exactly what this helps you do. So moving on to leveraging ContentStudio's Instagram competitor analytics tool. So first of all, I just want to point out that there are more than 2 billion monthly active users on Instagram. I don't even think that it's possible to imagine what a big number that is. So imagine there is so many people there that you can reach out to. Even if you pick a little chunk out of that for your target audience, say that is a big amount of people. But at the same time, we've also got brands and companies that are doing the same as you. So it's a really competitive environment there. So you need to, like I said, have a well-researched plan and strategy. So for that reason, our tool will help you do that. So firstly, talking about the fact that you can actually set a time frame for your analysis. That is what ContentStudio does offer. So that helps you keep up with the trends. Like I said, everything is super fast, it's changing, and it helps you track what time period, what kind of content your competitors are posting during this time period, during this time frame, and any other time during the year. For example, a strategy might be different during the end of the year when we have all of the different kinds of sales going on as compared to the middle of the year. So it's really important to set a specific time frame for when you're comparing things because it keeps changing monthly, if not weekly even. Then we've got performance comparison by followers and engagement. So it helps you figure out how many followers your competitors have, and then according to that, how much engagement they're getting. So it's not always ideal to just have a bunch of followers. You need them to engage with your content. Otherwise, they're just dead followers and it doesn't benefit anyone, right? So you need to see what balance is being created by your competitors and how you can figure out your strategy according to that. So for that reason, we've also got the posting activity by engagement versus post type. And that basically means that you get to analyze the different kind of impact that different post types play. So as you all know, Instagram has image posts, we have carousels, we've got reels. And so all of these different post types have different kinds of engagement coming in, and you can analyze exactly what kind of post is doing better for what competitor in what region, etc. So we've got the post type frequency. So how many times is this post type being used? How many times are your competitors posting reels, or how many times are your competitors posting images? It gives you a nice clear picture of what your competitors are doing and what is dominating that front. Now, we've also got graphical representation of data as well as tabular representation. And what I mean by that is basically aesthetics versus accuracy. So when you have a team, or when you have to share your reports with someone, or even if you're just going through content yourself, your analytics yourself, you'll be able to see that a graph obviously is a more graphical representation. It shows you the trends, you can see the ups and the downs. So it gives you a general idea of what's going on in your analytics, as you can see in the graph above right here. However, in the graph below that, that is the tabular form, this is more numerical. So you'll get a nice numerical idea in your head, what the numbers are saying, exactly, how much difference there is between each. The graphical, I think both of these have a really important part to play. So it's really important to have both kinds of graphs, especially when you're analyzing. I'll show you this in the demo. So now we've also got the ability to see most engaged hashtags, and that basically shows you the most used hashtags of your competitors. That way you can figure out exactly when each competitor is using which kind of hashtag and whether it's working for them or not. So that way you can shape your own hashtags. So if, for example, we've got Mother's Day coming up and you know that, people are going to be using this. So you can check out if your competitors are using those kind of hashtags as well. So they're the most used hashtags. So you'll be able to figure those out right there. I'll show you that. We've also got the Insta bio analysis. Now, what that is that it shows you your competitors' little bio that they have. Of course, first impression matters. So it's very important to make your bio as appealing to your audience as possible. You want to grab that attention from your audience right there from the very beginning. You're like, this is me, I give you this, and you need me. And that's how it starts, right? So then we've got top performing posts with stats. So you can see the top performing and the least performing posts with all the stats you need, right from the likes and comments to what the engagement rates are and everything else. I'll show you those exactly in a few seconds. And of course, when you're seeing so many performing posts, you also get a lot of ideas. So it's an open field for a lot of things. And it's really important that you follow your analysis for your own brand. So lastly, we've got competitor posting times. Of course, you can see the different timings that these posts have been posted at. So I'll be showing you those as well. And lastly, this image might seem out of place for this webinar, but let me explain. Your brand is like a little plant. Every plant is different and it needs different kind of nurturing. For example, if you're planting rice somewhere, it needs a lot of water. However, a cactus grows in the desert, right? So you need to nurture your business very, very specifically. Every business needs to nurture its business really differently. And that's where competitor analysis can help you. So when you know exactly what your brand needs, that is how it will grow the right way, in the best way, the healthiest way. So I hope this is a little cute example I put in here. I hope you guys liked it. Let's move on to the tour. It's time. All right, so moving on to the analytics tool itself. Hope everybody can see the screen. Let's start. So this is the ContentStudio dashboard. And right here, we have the Analyze section. So we're going to click that. And over here, Instagram Competitor Analytics. So we're going to click that. This is the Instagram Competitor Analytics dashboard, and you can see the different competitor groups that I've created right here. So as you can see, I've brands, football clubs, etc. Let me show you how you can create a competitor group. If you click here, you can create new. You're going to name it. So let's say, for example, I want to create one on social media platforms. So that would be, you can add a slug here. So let's say I want to search up YouTube. So I'm going to write that. It's right here. See. Okay. So social media. YouTube. It's going to search. It'll give you the exact one. If you do not have the slug of your competitor, you can add a URL here as well. So let's say, for example, you go over to, and I'm going to write down Instagram account. Let's see, there we go. I'm just going to copy the address for that specific account. And I'm going to come and paste it right here. So either way, you'll get your Instagram account that you're looking for. So let's say I want to add Facebook here as well. I'll do that. There you go. And you can add up to 5 competitors at a time. You can also remove competitors when you don't want them there. So continue. And as you can see, I've created a little competitor group for myself. I'll click that. And it'll open up the competitor analysis right here. You can click on the manage competition right here and manage competitors right here, and you can change the number of competitors you have and remove them as well. So we're going to come back to this in a while, just for the purpose of this webinar. I'm going to show you a different competitor group. All right, so this is the fast food competitor group, as you can see right here. Now, right off the bat, you can see the different competitors you added to your list at the top here, and you can see the number of followers they have and their engagement rates right beside them. On the top over here, you can change the date range that you want to see your content within. So that would be anything from this. We've picked a 1 month bracket right here. And you can set this to whatever you want. Right below that, we have the competitor performance comparison. So this shows you the number of followers versus the engagement rate. So when we look at this graph, we can see that Subway has probably the lowest followers along with the lowest engagement, while I think Wendy's is doing great with engagement, and McDonald's has a higher follower count. So this gives you a little understanding of exactly what your competitor is doing. Let's say if it is a fast food brand that you own. When you hover over a specific brand, then it shows you, the average posts per day, the engagement rate, and the followers itself also. In case you want to see a bigger screen, you can click over here to maximize it. And then, you'll see a larger graph and it'll be easier to read. You could do this for any of the graphs below. So moving down, we have the competitors comparative table. Now, over here, you can see a lot of details. So let me go through them. Firstly, you'll be able to see the number of followers that each of these competitors have. And then be able to see the number of follower change in percentage over the time period that you've selected right here. Then you can also see the number of that they post per week, the number of post change per week, You can also see the engagement rate by followers. So this gives you a good idea whether they have dead followers or not. If it's a good number, that means they're well. I don't think their strategy is doing well, or maybe their strategy must be something else. That we'll have to see when we go through this. So then we have the engagement by followers per change. Now, what does change mean? It means basically this time period, and for that, right here. So when you click over here, it will open up a little graph, and you'll be able to see the change in followers in detail in a larger set. Now, it's important to note here that when you add your competitor for the first time to this account, then it will fetch data for you, especially if it's been added to the database before. However, the follower count, this graph right here, or the number of followers change over time, you will not be able to see that. It will start from the day that you added that competitor. So you can check out our video on the same topic, and it's there as well. So I've talked about it there as well. If you have any questions, you can always ask us in the question answer session. So moving on, we've got the competitors by total followers versus net change in followers. So as you can see in this 1 month period, McDonald's had a 0.08% increase. And you can see that, they have an average of almost one maybe post per week, and they're doing well. Right after that, we have Burger King. You can hover over. It gives you all the details. Right, like that. Okay. And right here, we have the posting activity by post. So like I mentioned before in the presentation, we have the carousel, reel, video, image. This is an overview of all the different types of posts, not by brand. It's just an overview. So as we can see right here, the 5 competitors chosen, between them, all of them combined, actually, image posts are the most popular. Like that's the thing that they're posting most at the moment. There's a total of 26 posts that have gone out in this 1 month period. There's a large engagement rate. And then we've got around 5.2 posts per week, right at comparison. It has a good engagement and 9 posts per week. And then the reels, for some reason, is lagging right behind that with lots of posts, but hardly any engagement. So that's interesting. You can run any of these to see a specific posting activity. So when we click that, it's going to take us to the graph right below that. And this is cute because this is, like I mentioned, the graphical versus the tabular comparison. So right here on the left, it's a breakdown according to the competitors. So you can see McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, and KFC, Subway. You can narrow down your searches by specific type of post. So for example, I see image post. I can change that. It's going to change the graphs. And we can see right here that McDonald's is getting the most. Subway is posting the most. That's interesting. We can also see the same thing, but in a numerical form on the right. And this gives you a better picture. So it shows you exactly how many posts. Okay, so it's posting. Subway's posting 8 posts per week and in the time limit. And it's also McDonald's has the highest engagement, and the engagement rate of followers is improving. Interesting. Well, let me just show you. You can change the type right here as well. And it's going to change the graph on the left side. So this is a nice graph, graphical tabular representation of both analytics. Then we've got the most engaged hashtags. Now these are the hashtags that your followers, or your competitors are using and have gotten the most engagement. So this shows you how many posts they've posted with this hashtag, which competitor it was that posted it, how many average engagement they got. And engagement, by the way, if you don't know, is the number of likes and comments. It is the combination of likes and comments. And then we've also got the engagement, followers, and the engagement rate. Okay, so right here, you can also click on this. And in case there are more than one competitors following using, to show you exactly what I mean, let me change my workspace and I'll show you that. It gives you a problem. So for example, I add social media right here. We're going to go down to the hashtag section. Create apps. right? So here you can see the engaged hashtag section, and here you can see, for example, yellow is used by YouTube itself, or when you click this, breakdown how many posts were sent out by Instagram and how many were sent to YouTube. So I think it's really great. You can see the division between the average engagement as well, the changing engagement per followers. It's a really great feature. So going back. To our fast food. I hope all of these analytics are making sense, and hopefully if you guys have any questions, we will be taking them at the end of the session, and of course we're ready to answer them in the live chat as well. Right, so like I mentioned, bioanalysis, we're going to talk about that. Now your bio is of course your first and only impression, so you want to make it count. So our competitors right here, this is their description. You can read them. Like KFC has their line right here. It's finger looking good. And as you know that we have a 100, well, we don't, Instagram has a 150 character limit on your description. So you want to make all those 150 characters, if you're using them, count, especially the first 20 characters, because that's what's going to be showing before you have to click anywhere to kind of expand that. So when you read your competitors' descriptions, you have an idea of exactly what they're talking about. Of course, these are larger brands, so they don't need to tell anybody what they're doing. But of course, if you're a smaller brand, you'll want to make an image of yourself in your description. So you can see if your competitors are, adding any specific keywords, how they're explaining themselves to someone that comes to their page, stuff like that. It's really important to have a really good, strong punch when it comes to your Instagram description. Lastly, we have top performing and the least performing posts. And right here, you'll be able to see them by brand. And you can also see the kind it is. Here you'll be able to see what an image, a reel, a carousel, etc. And when you hover over, you'll be able to see the breakdown of the engagement this post got, the engagement rate, likes, comments. And when you click it further, it's going to open a pop-up right here, and you'll be able to see the post itself, everything that we saw in the pop right here. And then you can also redirect yourself to Instagram to see this post. And in case you want to read the comments or interact with the post itself, you can click on the view post on Instagram and it will take you right into that. So I think that's a great feature to have. You can really shape your Instagram grid according to the top performing posts of your competitors, see what works for them. Give me a minute. All right, so this gives you an idea of what kind of thumbnails people are using. That works. You can also see the different kinds of type of content that people are posting. Are they funny memes, or is it something relevant that people are sharing? Like McDonald's here has shared something related to their saucy skirts. It's funny. So it's not that. You can shape your Instagram grid accordingly. And of course, if something is working for your competitors, you can definitely try it out for yourself. And if it works for you, that's great, because that's the pump, that's the push you need, right? So that's about it for the competitor. Stop the presentation right here. I'm going to show you guys what we have in our upcoming flow. So let me just take it out. Right, so before the question and answer session starts, you might have the question, what's new, Scooby-Doo? And the answer to that question is that we are coming up with more rich insights, and so that you have a better experience with this tool. We have better data visualization coming up. We've got more hashtag variations. It was very limited right now. We've got lots of post graphs coming up. So there will be more things to look into, more insights. You'll be able to export your PDFs and to share further with your clients or with your team. We'll also have brand specific analysis. So this is really good if you want to really get into detail, into the nitty gritties of your competitors. We've got the enhanced user interface. After all, we want the experience to be as good as it can get for you guys, and we're constantly making changes. So now we are going to move over to the question and answer session. If you guys have any questions, Sharon will be answering them, and see you at the end of the webinar.
Thank you, Mahmoud. That was really insightful. I'm sure everyone liked it as well. Guys, if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. How much old data can we get of competitors? That's a very good question. So apart from followers, we can get data of up to the last 3 months. But when it comes to followers, the data is going to start from the day you've added that specific competitor. Scanning, I'm not sure what answer to give you. We're not focusing on that right now, so that's not the purpose of this webinar. But if there is something that comes up, we'll surely let the entire community know. Don, you can add up to 5 different competitors in one group, but when it comes to how many specific competitor groups you can make in one workspace, that varies from plan to plan. So it depends on what plan you're on. If you reach out to us on support@contentstudio.io, we'd be able to give you better insight on that. Muneeb, let me quickly have a chat with the team about getting this up and running for you real quick. Muneeb, Madhur's just going to share her screen real quick and let you know how it's going to work.
Hi, Manip. I hope you can see my screen. So what did you want to see? How to check specific posts, analytics by type, like carousel. So this is it. Right here, you can see the specific brands, and you can choose between whether you want to see image posts, carousels, or reel posts. And that'll give you an idea of exactly which brand is using what kind of post type to market itself and get the engagement they need. Like, for example, McDonald's here isn't really using reels. It's mostly using images. And right here on the right, you'll be able to see that Burger King is actually using the most reels. And it's also getting the most engagement out of them as well. So reels seem to be working for Burger King, while image posts seem to be working for Subway. This is a very interesting graph. I think I will look into this later after this webinar. But yeah, you can search things around, change them how you like them. If you think the graph is too small, you can't see anything, you can always maximize your screen, see things better. So if you have any more questions, let me know. I'll show you guys. Hi, Courtney oh wait, sorry, who's asking? Dekesa is asking what ER by followers is. ER by followers is basically your engagement by your followers. If you guys don't understand anything, you can always hover over a specific title and it will show you what that title means. So for example, right here, I've hovered my mouse over engagement rate by followers, and it's telling me it's the average number of engagement actions, like likes and comments per post, per follower on an image published during the selected time period, expressed as a percentage. So for right now, it's telling me the engagement rate by the amount of followers, the likes and comments for image posts only. If there's anything you don't understand, you can always hover over the question mark right here or over any title, and it'll let you know what it does. Courtney, well, I wouldn't specifically give you three metrics only, because it's important to look at all fronts of your competitors, exactly what they're doing. So I think there's not one single specific metric that is more important than another. All of these are equally important, because first follower count, you're seeing the engagement rate, you're seeing the change, and you're also looking at the competition, the type of posting activity. So it gives you an all-rounder. If you guys are done seeing the screen, I can turn it off and we'll move on to the question and answer session.
Thank you, Manur. Courtney, adding on to what Manur said, I think it depends on what sort of what sort of insight you're looking for. It depends on what sort of business you're running, the type of competitors you're looking for. So we've given you a lot of different options for what sort of matrix you can search for, and then compare yourself to your competitors accordingly. So that's the only reason why we've given you so much accessibility and so many options, so that we can cater to the needs. Everyone can cater to their own needs and what sort of things they want against their competitors, right? And okay, another question is, will you be adding more? Okay, so when it comes to analytics for other platforms that are not available right now, I would suggest that you'd be able to see inside the web app, you'd be able to see a small question mark button in the bottom right. If you just press the request a feature option, you can go on there, request a feature. The entire community has access to it. If the community likes it, we're going to try our best to integrate it into ContentStudio as soon as possible. Courtney, I would personally ask the marketing team to do a better job with the content that they're generating if they're not getting enough engagement. So that's the idea when it comes to a competitor analytics tool, so that you can get a better understanding of what type of content your competitors are getting out, to be able to get those sorts of engagements that you're actually looking for, right? So it gives you a better idea of how you should be strategizing on your own marketing end when it comes to social media, specifically for Instagram in this case. Can we see reels and carousel posts in reports? Unfortunately, as of right now, we cannot see reels in the report, but we can see carousel posts. Is data applicable to small local SEO businesses? So Channing, it depends. Again, like I said, it depends on what sort of competitors you add, right? So you can add multiple different competitors, and
the type of analytics coming in, the engagement rates, the most engaged posts, the number of change in followers, all of that stuff is going to be against those specific competitors. So it doesn't necessarily matter who those competitors are that you're adding. Simone has asked if we have demo support for something. Yes, of course we do. Again, just press the small question mark button in the bottom right. There's a button for contact support. You can always reach out to us on support. We typically answer as soon as we can, and anything you need, we'd be more than happy to help. Nihar, I'm glad to have you on the webinar. Again, we can have a conversation over email after this, and we can talk about what you need over there as well. Mike, I'm not sure what you exactly mean by the question. If you could elaborate a little more, I'd be more than happy to help. Danning, just reach out to us on support@contentstudio.io. I would suggest the same for Nihar as well. And, we can give you better insights on the ETA of white labeling as a solution for Content Studio and when it's going to be available, if it's going to be available. Right now, the point of the matter is Instagram competitor analytics, and I'd be more than happy to help if you need anything regarding Instagram competitor analytics. Otherwise, you guys know where to reach us, support@contentstudio.io, or the small question mark button in the bottom right, press contact support. We'd be more than happy to help.
Right, I'm not sure if this question was answered, but the green and red tabs basically mean green tab. If you're talking about this tab specifically, I'm not sure which green tab you're talking about, but if this is the one you're talking about, the ones that we see in the different graphs and stuff, green is basically the highest number and red is the lowest number. So it shows you the stark differences between. So as you can see, this Wendy's has the lowest follower count, while McDonald's has the highest. Through the graphs, the greens and the reds, to give you a better idea. Yes, TNA, you will get this video on YouTube. It will be saved there, and we'll also be sending out emails in the newsletter later on, so you can check out the video, and it will be on YouTube, so you can check it out anytime you're free. If you have any more questions, let us know. Otherwise, I think it's time for a wrap. We hope this video, this webinar, this tool was helpful for you, and you will be using it in the future. And if you guys want a webinar, anything specific, anything else, if there's something else you guys want us to talk about, do let us know, and we would love to create more content like this for you so it helps you. We love your feedback. So. All right, I think that's about it. No more questions are coming. Guys, thank you for joining the webinar today. It was lovely having you all here. Hope to see you in more future webinars. We have so much more coming in store. So hope you are looking forward to it as much as we are. See you in the next webinar. This is Manur signing out along with Bye.